All you people are sleeping. Tu-Lox come to wake you up. We see things but they teach us we're dreaming. But I have come to wake you up. Having knowledge is the key thing. Having a wisdom will lift you up. You're born a lazy man, you die a lazy man. Would someone wake him up? All you people are sleeping. Tu-Lox come to wake you up. Watching the man Shakespeare underrepresenting live on Living Colors, right? My 2 cents podcast, I don't know.
Blessed, welcome to another episode of the My 2 Cents podcast. I'm your host Tu-Lox, the 876 Rebel. Now, in a today episode, we're going to deal with something bizarre, as Tam them and Hank them would I say, over in the US. This is where we say a plane load of Indian. See, you know, I'm say Indian, I'm not xenophobic. I have nothing against a specific country, no specific nationality, none of that. A plane full of 200 and odd Indian landed at the Norman Manley airport, allegedly without the requisite approval, and it caused a bug or something. And that we're going to deal with in a today episode.
What I feel is surreal.
See the soulful Tessan Chin alongside comedic stars Dufton Shepherd and Curly Roberts at The Thing About Moms, a Mother's Day comedy show and concert Sunday, May 12 at the Montego Bay Convention Center, hosted by IT Ellis. General admission $5,000, $7,000 at the gate. VIP $7,000 and $9,000 at the gate. Children below 12 pay $2,500. Grab those tickets now at El Paso Fontana Pharmacy, Pier 1, St. James Pharmacy, or online at eventplug.com. Contact 876-428-3303 for further information. It's a Mother's Day gift for all.
Also brought to you by REGGAE 13 Collections, where creativity lives. We also do everything printing except fingerprinting. We also offer the finest and best in embroidery services in the island. Check us out at 876-898-9888, and also to get access to the updated merchandise, you can just simply follow us at REGGAE 13 Collections on Instagram. Still a reminder item, check out Curly Lox book, available on all digital platforms, available in Jamaica at jamaicadeals.com.
Listen up. This one is for the youths and the children. Sing again, sing again. I want them again. So didn't I tell you that the beast is roaming? Yeah, protect your children. Call like a raging storm is coming. Lion twin, yo, we want them again. So didn't we tell you that the beast is roaming? Yeah, protect your children. Call like a raging storm is. Yo, 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 yo.
Alright. So, before me get into the show, I just remind the fans them, so I not forget about the celebration for the 100,000 YouTube subscribers. But me I wait till I get the button seen so the celebration can just have a more intimate feeling. Seen? That still a come up and I still a work on what I gotta do for celebrate and all these things. Now, straight in I show you now. I wake up this morning and trust me, my phone I get bombarded with a specific story we're going to talk about today. And me now fi go na intro for what go on, because this is exactly what happened.
Scores of Indian visitors enjoying the sights and sounds of downtown Kingston on a Sunday afternoon. The issue is, they should not be here, nor should they be moving around this freely unsupervised. We understand the Indian nationals were among 218 individuals who arrived in Jamaica via a chartered flight. The flight, a white and blue Airbus A340, is registered in Germany. It has also since been impounded and remains on the tarmac at the Norman Manley International Airport. The aircraft and those aboard did not have the relevant approval, including the passenger manifest, to come to Jamaica. Law enforcement sources told our news center that the chartered airline also did not state it was arriving in Jamaica. Nevertheless, civil aviation officials allowed the aircraft to land. We were further reliably informed that the flight transited through Dubai and they'd made a stop in the Egyptian capital Cairo, where an Uzbek national was picked up before heading to Jamaica. The Uzbekistan national, based on our checks, is of interest to government officials in the United States. Interestingly, another Uzbek national who also arrived on a previous flight was eventually detained when the authorities started investigating this Indian chartered flight. Now, after this flight with the Indian nationals arrived in Jamaica, there was a lot of discussion among the authorities on how to treat with the situation. It was eventually decided to allow them to deboard and stay at the 4-star Rock Hotel in downtown Kingston under police guard while the situation is worked on. Checks also revealed that the charter had no arrangement to take the passengers back to their destination, which aroused the suspicion of authorities. Which brings us back to these initial images in downtown Kingston on Sunday afternoon, where many of the passengers were seen freely going about their business. Some appeared to be shopping for snacks and treats. We also understand some of them may have also left the hotel entirely. When we pressed our sources on why they were allowed to go to a 4-star hotel, we were told that Jamaica has no detention center at the airport and no space in our remand center for so many people. Our source added that the passengers actually booked to stay at the hotel. They, however, did not pay for the rooms, but the source says that's why officials allowed them to go there. Dwayne Anderson, TVJ News.
Meanwhile, in a related development, TVJ News has learned that the German embassy is now involved in the matter as the crew members are German nationals. The aircraft is also German-owned. The sources told our news center that members of the German crew are upset as they did not plan to stay in Jamaica for an extended period. We were informed that the plan was for the crew to fly the charter with 218 passengers to Jamaica and then depart. The crew contacted the embassy here in Jamaica, Kingston, yesterday, which has intervened.
So right after that clip they come out, seen, and TVJ, CVM, all of the relevant, the credible news source report it in the same specific way. Everybody got crazy and start beat the government, which is right, it makes sense. Because none of the news a while are gonna make no sense. How them get for land without permit, all these things. Now, right after everything bust out and the news went viral about the Indian nationals landing in Jamaica without any kind of permit. Because as when you see in the news while ago, as when you hear, they not get no kind of permit for land. They never even have the proper flight manifesto. All type of discrepancy in a them thing and that story. But before we can really comment or say nothing on it, I show you some statement where the Prime Minister put out. So I think we can read everything for about. The Ministry of National Security wishes to update the public on the arrangements in place to supervise the departure of the USC GmbH flight, a German registered aircraft with 253 passengers, including crew members. The flight arrived in Jamaica legally on Thursday, May 2nd, 2024, having received the requisite approvals for operation from the Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority. Despite having arrangements in place for accommodation and departure from the country, the passengers were refused entry by immigration officials based on security concerns uncovered during their processing at the airport. The Passport, Immigration and Citizenship Agency, PICA, in collaboration with the Jamaica Constabulary Force, has been leading operational response since their arrival. Upon landing in Jamaica, it was discovered that there were 2 passengers on the flight that did not appear on the submitted passenger manifest. This led to further investigations by PICA, and based on those enhanced checks, the decision was taken by PICA not to grant the passengers leave to land in Jamaica. Now a lot of people are confused. It don't mean land like the plane are gonna land here, because obviously if them are screen them land already, it just mean coming to the country itself. You know what I mean? Given the duration of the flight as well as civil aviation regulations for the minimum rest period before clearance is given to safely operate it was deemed impractical to detain the passengers in the plane or at the airport. Having regard to their reservations at the Rock Hotel in downtown Kingston, the travelers and the airline crew members were allowed to leave the airport on humanitarian grounds. I want to mark down that today. And escorted to the hotel by law enforcement and immigration personnel. This form of supervised release is in keeping with the provisions of the Immigration Restriction, Commonwealth Citizens Act and Aliens Act. The passengers remain accounted for and are at the Norman Manley International Airport awaiting the finalization of arrangements for their departure. The cost of their accommodation and return will solely be the responsibility of the charter company and not the government of Jamaica. Now, if they did have the proper requisite permission and documentation for landing in Jamaica, why were they detained? The passenger manifesto had inconsistencies and all type of foolishness, but yet still they were allowed to leave the airport for the Rock Hotel downtown. May I try make this make sense to me? When I first red flag is that the news said that when they were pressed, that are the police, them authorities, as to why them carry 200 odd people got the Rock Hotel, the authorities told the press that them have to carry them got the Rock Hotel because the 200 odd people can't hold at the airport and them now have no detention center they can hold so much people. Now, if all these people were accounted for as it relates to accommodation at the Rock Hotel, the authorities would have simply tell the media, say, the people them have them reservation. So what about that? What about them having reservations at the Rock Hotel for the authorities hide from the media? You don't plan the robbery, but you don't plan the escape. If you not going to detain them, you have to do it like you detain Jamaicans. Now, the Prime Minister states clearly that the passengers were allowed to leave the airport based on humanitarian grounds and escorted to the hotel, want to listen, by law enforcement and immigration personnel under supervised release. But are you telling me that all our journalists them in Jamaica, I know some foolishness are going on with journalism these days, and I know all of them done the professional, but I don't think them gone so bad yet. The news states that these people, for the most part, was unsupervised. Now I'm going to go back to the reason why them get to leave the airport. Humanitarian. I could look at the meaning of that word. So this say, a person promoting human welfare and social reform. So that means, you don't know, Jamaica cares for other nations. You don't know, you can't just treat people like that. So, explain to me, Mr. Government, why the Haitians weren't treated in the same manner. Now, I don't want to take up too much of the time with too much reading, but this is important and it relates to the Haitian refugees who sought refuge in Jamaica. Based on a serious upsurge of violence that's occurring in Haiti, a lot of people decide to take it to the high seas in order to save them life and the life of them family in them Haitian nation. See? The Ministry of National Security, MNS, refusal to grant asylum to 37 Haitian asylum seekers, and it wasn't 37 of them, it was way more. I think it was 120 or something like that. See? It's heartbreaking. Decision letters were delivered to the Haitians at around 9 p.m. on February 27th under the cover of darkness. Like much of the process thus far, I waited with the group that night, not just as their attorney at law, but as a human being who desperately wants to honor our dignity of persons who journeyed across treacherous waters to seek refuge on our shores. And that statement was made by Marlene Allen, seen an attorney at law. The development marks a significant deterioration in the already dire situation of Haitian migrants in Jamaica since July 2023. Over 120 Haitian migrants arrived in Jamaica by boat amid the devastating crisis in Haiti. Of that number, over 80 have been forcibly returned to Haiti without being allowed to access asylum procedure or communicate with legal counsel. Alright, so now I have to make a note. First, so I acknowledge the situation with the Haitians as it relates to seeking political asylum in Jamaica is a way different situation from a plane full of Indian who land in Jamaica and just basically need to be on them way. Me totally understand it's a different situation. However, aren't Haitians human? Where is your humanitarian efforts? Right, Lisa? No compassion? No empathy? How come you choose to treat one set of people different from the others? The last time I check it, majority of them they get detained. And who not get detained, stay on the beach with them lantern. Babies were there with them family. So where is the humanitarian grounds? Where that gone? How when the Haitian them come, it gets treated differently? So, my Afi come to the conclusion, say a pretty ear, pun intended. Pretty ear, wasn't this even a bigger reason for grant clemency? Where was the humanitarian grounds when those people even tried to seek political asylum, which by world news, we know, say no lie them I tell, when they sought political asylum in Jamaica? Am I saying that criminals not probably mix up with the innocent people who run away? But you know, could do the right thing and supervise them, vet them, see who is who can prove them identity. You know, go over here until you can do that. Something, there could have been some preparation made to treat the Haitian them better. Now, the last time I checked it, did you know that Haiti, look on this, is a part of CARICOM? So don't you think the Jamaican government was way more obligated to treat the Haitians on humanitarian grounds? India a part of CARICOM? I think CARICOM was a thing where we this. One group of people, we are friends right here, so we treat each other with respect. I really thought CARICOM nationals were prioritized, but obviously they aren't. And another thing, the soldier them never leave the Haitian them a inch. So them could have run, gone away. That is why they get to send back the Haitian them where they come from. But the Indians were let out into downtown Kingston and just roam free. According to what the news said, the first clip on my play, some of them even leave the hotel. So, how we are gonna know the general public say all of them leave back on a flight? I mark you, I'm fully aware before I start full my comment section, say one bag of people who invaded our shores illegally and are now seeking political asylum. That situation is way different from a plane full of Indians who landed and there's an air of mystery. But guess what? It's how you deal with the situation. Where's the humanitarian? Remember, you used the word, Mr. Prime Minister. Humanitarian grounds that can go for all situations. So while the two situations may not conflict directly, if you are going to apply humanitarian grounds to the Indian them, you should apply humanitarian grounds to the Haitians. Now, the news also states, say, we don't have enough detention center, no? Now if you put 200 people for detain them. But me alone remember clearly, say, in the 2010 Tivoli incursion, detention centers were created, immediately created. Them turned the national arena in a detention center. Because guess what? Them detain people in a wanton quantities. Copious amounts of people were taken to the national arena. Where's the humanitarian grounds? In the aftermath, over 70, according to them officially, right? But the people them know say more than that. Over 70 civilians were killed in the aftermath and 3 police. And it is also alleged that You have at least 15 extrajudicial killing unaccounted for. Nothing no do, but up until now, there's no kind of reparation for these people. Money can't bring back life. But them lose belongings, them lose so much things. Whole heap of people get displaced from them homes. Where's the humanitarian grounds? Matter of fact, what the police force, over 370 police, were running at Tivoli Gardens though, was inhumane. And up until today, nothing no come out of that. Yes, a pretty year. Because you know, we Jamaicans already and based on what we got through. Post-slavery trauma. Just check the upper class in Jamaica and see who have the whole of the money and the respect, boy. Indian, pretty year. Chinese, pretty year. White people, pretty year. Believe me when me telling you. So that pretty year is something, you know, as simple as you see it. The slave master's image is still being revered and nobody can help the image of them born with. I make sure I do my disclaimer. Nobody can help how them born in. I have nothing to do with who rich, who poor, none of that. If the master have good hair, you know what? You can't make him something. If the master had good hair, anybody with them say with the good hair shall be respected and treated differently. It no matter what color the good hair have, you know, as long as they have the good hair what the mouser used to have, you're good. I'm not xenophobic. Me not have nothing at all against any specific nationality. But if you're gonna use humanitarian grounds, it should be used right across the board. Now if the plane land unintentionally, something did wrong with the plane. And according to the news when me see all now, me not hear about no Mayday. And you request permission for emergency landing. So me know them anomaly happen. There was no emergency landing request. So basically them did on them way to Jamaica. So we clear up that. So if them did on them way to Jamaica and them have so much inconsistencies. Matter of fact, for instance, the flight manifesto wrong. I hate that, you know. They send them go back from in the air. Where them I come from? Unless them tell you directly, say, yo, we are running out of fuel. So you request an emergency landing. These situations can be characterized differently. But we all see. See, nothing like that going on here, sir.
Well, first of all, a total of 253 individuals arrived in the island on the chartered flight. That number includes the crew members. Now, pictures we saw late Monday afternoon showed these passengers lining up in the pre-boarding area at the Norman Manley International Airport. They were taken back to the airport to be sent home tonight. We also spoke exclusively with the managing director of the airline company. His company owns the plane that flew the chartered flight into Jamaica.
Until the very day, I don't know. The citizens we had on board do not require a visa for Jamaica. We brought them there in good intention and also to pick them up in good intention. They were then refused. Until the very day, we do not have a statement from the Jamaican authorities why we are being detained or why we are being delayed to leave again. This is unacceptable, and we have still, up to the very time, received no explanation what is going on. And initially, the flight, and I think this caused some hesitation, the flight was to go there, drop off the passengers, the crew does 14 hours rest, then we would have gone ferry flight to Havana, ferry, as I said, empty, to Havana. We have some passengers waiting there since a week now to be picked up and to be brought back to their destination, and then we would have returned to pick up these passengers again and flown them back. This was our itinerary.
All right, so me understand from what that brother here try to say is that you drop off over 200 odd people in our country with no real reason why them forward, by the way. Seeing you just drop off over 200 odd people, empty the plane, and then you head for Havana, go pick up some other people and do your business and whatever the case may be. Jamaican and nurse, brother. What you mean just drop off people, sir? For them staying in Jamaica, obviously none of them have no real reason why them come here. And after them go Havana, do what them do. Them would return and pick up back them passenger. I've never heard of this scenario in all my life. You just let off 200 odd people for stay at Jamaica, and then you go pick up back some people at Havana and do no business. So I never make them stay at Havana. You should have let them off at Cuba. Cuba have hotel too, you know.
The Jamaican authorities, while not responding to the airline's boss, say they were alerted to the operation of the flight based on what appeared to be anomalies and missing details from its initial permit application. Additionally, the authorities indicated there were 2 passengers on the flight who did not appear on the passenger manifest. This led to investigations by PICA, and based on those checks, the decision was taken by immigration officials not to grant the passengers leave to land in Jamaica. But concerned Jamaicans are asking, why were the passengers then allowed to roam the streets of downtown Kingston given all the red flags? Our news center captured images of them shopping, sightseeing and enjoying downtown Kingston on Sunday. The government said they were to be under police guard, but we did not see any police officers with them. The Ministry of National Security, in response to why they were allowed to leave the airport's precincts, explained that given the duration of the flight, as well as civil aviation regulations for the minimum rest period, they decided it was impractical to have the passengers wait in the plane or at the airport. They were therefore allowed to leave the airport on humanitarian grounds and go to Rock Hotel in downtown Kingston, where they had reservations.
Given the duration of the flight, them decided their mind said impractical to make the passengers wait in the plane or at the airport. So they were therefore allowed to leave the airport on humanitarian grounds. So are you telling me, say a plane full of people will fly along and then probably get rest in another plane there? Could have faced with them Haitian they face in a little boat them where them have to fling their whole family pan. And I pray so that shit no capsize and shark them. You want to tell me, say, them people are more worthy of being treated fairly based on humanitarian grounds?
No, the matter doesn't quite end there. We were also reliably informed by our sources that members of this group of Indian nationals were attempting to enter Jamaica from as far back as September 2023.
These people are trying to come, that specific set of people are trying to come to Jamaica from 2023. Something wrong.
Now, the real reason for their interest in Jamaica is not clear at this time, but at that time, our sources say tourism officials were told they said they wanted to visit Jamaica for quote-unquote tourism purposes. Now, the tourism ministry, after making checks, detected what it called red flags and said that type of entry was a no-go on their part. Now, we were also told the Indians then reached out to a Jamaican sportsman to lobby the Jamaican government on their behalf for entry. However, the red flags, which included questionable security background of some of the individuals, meant the matter was not pursued. Now, our sources say the tourism ministry is therefore shocked that they eventually made it to Jamaica this year.
When them do manage to conjure up an excuse, tourism purposes, over 200 and odd a uno. So tourism purposes, or uno just land for do a layover according to the white brother we are chatting about foolishness. Now a layover again, till the plane go have and carry some people go on next part and come back for uno. So how come all of a sudden now, a tourism purposes? Make up in the mind. I feel like this did for private, somebody leak it to the media. I don't know why. I don't know why them come. I don't know what the purpose. I don't know. Because liar tell right there so. Whole heap of liar tell right there so. And the news never supposed to know. That's why you have 2 different stories. The Prime Minister said them have all of the requisite paper, but yet still them seize the plane and one bag of problem are going on there. I could call a spade a spade. This look like human trafficking to me when I assess the entire situation. And here why me say that. Based on checks, there was no arrangement whatsoever to bring back them people here. Where them come from? There was no charter. Them have charter for forward, but there was no charter for go back. So I want somebody explain that to me. This man claims him leave them as a layover, but yet still nothing in our system we say I come back for them. Make that make sense. As some top hustling, I go on here, so creme de la creme type of hustling them here. I go on right in front of the eye, under we nose. Matter of fact, power we nose. And the reason why I say a human in this, nobody can tell me nothing. First of all, enough you understand that some of them countries in the world have some top level suffering. But Jamaica heaven. Heaven. And them willing to come down and this can work for every dollar where we decide our mind say we know what. Just like how the black Americans now want to work at pussy clot and the whole of the Latino them and take them work. When I feel like think that concept is only indigenous to the US. So that's what I theorize. Somebody is supposed to get a food, something right, something in and something right here. So make we say a tourist them for true. The closest tourist destination is Ochi. But the whole of them, the entire 200 and other them, book them room at the Rock Hotel. That don't make no sense to me. The closest tourist destination from the Rock is Ochi. And you stop at Kingston? What kind of tourists come at Kingston first? Usually they would go Negril or them go Moby or them go Ochi. Then them travel all through the island. It don't make one sense. You know why them booking at the Rock Hotel? Because whatever them purpose for is in Kingston. Can you imagine 200 and odd tourists come at Kingston, Philippawa? And this madman make it look like you can just go drop off a plane load of people if you just lay over. 200 of them. Like when you call your friend and say, what one match? Me, you know more you stay with the baby them for me till tomorrow. I saw him make it look simple, you know. And Jamaica don't need a visa and bare arrogance. You just drop off 200 odd people. No explanation, no real. My last, you talk about unacceptable. You know what is unacceptable? Let have 200 odd people in our country and them have no real reason why them even in our country. That's unacceptable. I now reach out to sportsman. I assume say one cricketer based on the fact say this have something to do with India. For lobby to the government, for letting in. That don't make sense. If a tourism purpose is, why would you need nobody for lobby? Phone upon phone behalf. Tourists not coming out the country every day. Ask a lot of Indians who come to Jamaica as tourists. Ask them. And them get let in. But this one plane full of people, over 200 people, and I have no real reason why them there, don't make sense. Especially when they check the flight manifest and 2 passengers missing. And when them check it out, the 2 people, questionable based on the fact say America want them. Something wrong. The song shows that the people in power, some big joke thing, some Mickey Mouse thing are going on this. Not no serious at Jamaica. The people in power only pressure the locals and give free access and easy access to foreigners. And this prove it. It shows you the mindset that them have towards anybody that is not Jamaican. Sometimes you come from foreign with all your things. And them harass you wicked in the airport. Sometimes customer the hardest thing to come through. For Jamaicans. But when they let have a plane full of over 200 and odd people. First at 218 and at 250. So much discrepancies in this. Are you saying there could not have been the possibility of murderers, rapists? This could have even been the case of severe human trafficking. We don't truly know. We don't know the reason. If them don't know the reason why them land at Jamaica, how we gonna know? We never consider the actual safety of Jamaican citizens, but we are busy a pressure with every little thing. Them kill with this. But them not think about with safety. No time. One plane other people were allowed to leave unsupervised and go to a hotel to stay at Jamaica. Make that make sense.